All right, let's talk about something we've all been through. Have you ever had a genuinely brilliant idea, something you poured your heart and soul into, only to watch it get shot down? It is so frustrating. Well, today we are diving deep into a playbook for getting that all-important buy-in. Now, this explainer comes from Chapter 9 of a tutorial from Virtualization Options LLC, and we're going to break down their expert advice into a practical guide you can start using, like, tomorrow. You know the feeling, right? You spend weeks, maybe even months, doing incredible analysis. You find a huge problem and you've got the perfect solution. But then you get into the big meeting, you present it, and you get crickets. Or even worse, just a flat-out no. It is maddening, and believe me, it happens all the time. And really, this gets to the absolute heart of the matter. Your data can be perfect, your solution can be flawless, but none of that matters one bit if you can't get the right people to actually believe in it. We have this idea that the best analysis just wins on its own merits, but you know what? That's a really dangerous assumption to make. So let's try to reframe this whole thing. This isn't really an analysis problem at all. It's a communications challenge. The real goal here isn't just to show off your findings. It's to turn that analysis into real action, to start a movement around your idea. And that, my friends, requires a completely different set of skills. This quote just nails it. I mean, think about it. We spend years and years getting better at analysis, but how much time do we actually dedicate to becoming great communicators, to being influential? To be truly effective, those skills have got to be just as sharp. They're two sides of the very same coin. So where do we start? Well, the first rule of persuasion, the absolute foundation, is to know your audience. Sending out a one-size-fits-all message is pretty much guaranteed to fail. You've got to learn to speak the specific language of the person you're trying to convince. And just look at how this breaks down. It's the same project, but you're having three totally different conversations. When you're talking to an executive, you're talking about business risk and return on investment. With a manager, it's all about how this impacts their team and operations. And for an employee, it boils down to a very simple question. How does this affect me? You have to tailor that message every single time. Okay, so you've figured out who you're talking to. Now it's time for the centerpiece of your argument, building your business case. This is that make or break step where you take a big pile of data and transform it into a compelling story that basically demands action. And doing this right requires a major shift in your mindset. You're not just an analyst presenting facts anymore. Nope, you're an advocate. You're a storyteller. The data is your foundation, for sure, but it is not the story itself. So how do you actually build that narrative? Well, you start by putting a dollar amount on doing nothing, the cost of inaction. You directly connect your solution to the company's big strategic goals. Use real stories, real incidents, to make those abstract risks feel immediate and personal. And this is so crucial. You frame your idea as an opportunity for improvement, not as a criticism of the past. It's about moving forward together. Now, what you're seeing here isn't just some random checklist. Think of it as a proven recipe for a winning argument. These 8 steps build on each other to create this powerful, logical narrative. It literally guides your stakeholders on a journey, starting with understanding the problem and ending with a crystal clear, well-planned path to the solution. You know, a really powerful business case shows value from every possible angle. Of course, you absolutely need those hard numbers. The quantifiable stuff like reducing security incidents or increasing productivity. But don't stop there. The qualitative benefits, the things like a better company culture or a stronger reputation, those can be just as powerful, and they make your case that much harder to ignore. Okay, but even with the absolute perfect business case, your job still isn't done. Getting that initial yes is really just the beginning. See, true buy-in isn't something you win in a single meeting. It's an ongoing engagement campaign to win, and, just as importantly, to keep their commitment. This timeline reveals a really powerful truth. Communication isn't the last step in the process. It is a constant thread that you have to weave through everything. You engage people right from the start, you keep them in the loop as you gather data, and you keep them involved long after that big decision has been made. This is how you turn people who are just passively watching into active champions for your cause. So let's bring this all home. Your playbook for getting buy-in really comes down to 3 core strategies. Number 1, know your audience and speak their language. Number 2, build a compelling case that tells a powerful story. And number 3, run a continuous engagement campaign. If you can master these 3 things, you will have the power to turn just about any great idea into a reality. So, the playbook is officially yours. The tools are ready to go. I want you to think about that brilliant idea you have right now, the one you've been working on. You now have a strategy, a real plan to make it happen. So the only question left is, who are you going to convince first?